Thanks for having me. It's fucking cool to be here. I was told you guys were wild and yeah, awesome, cool. This next poem's called, If Jesus was born again, he would convert to Buddhism. So, yes, if Jesus was born again, he would convert to Buddhism, and he'd come down from heaven and at the gates to Australia, the guard would be like, fuck off, we're full, and Jesus would wave his hand, Jedi mind trick styles, and he'd be like, you are not full, you are full of shit, and the guard would let him pass, intoning, we are not full, we are full of shit, and Jesus' feet would land on the soft Australian soil, and I'd be there to greet him, like, sup, Jesus, and Jesus would be like, sup, and then a Melbourne University student would come past and clock him in the head and start stomping him, screaming, fuck off! You fucking Indian fuck! And then Jesus would get up and crush his throat with the full fury of the force while saying a really bad punchline, something like, fuck me, fuck this, bitch. And then being a very good host, I'd take him into a church and Jesus would look at the image of himself on the cross all confused, like, who's that supposed to be? And I'd be like, it's supposed to be you, Jesus. And Jesus would be like, that must be a really old sculpture. It's been sun-bleached white. And I'd be like... And of course he'd get up to deliver a sermon and the churchgoers would all be like, heathen, terrorist, Muslim, Al-Qaeda! And he'd be like, actually I'm considered a prophet in the Muslim religion. Actually I'm Jewish. And then, surely disappointed, he'd start a blog and it would read something like, WTF, I almost LOL today when these so-called Christians didn't even know who the fuck I was. I told them I was Jewish and they fled in terror. What would Jesus do? Get a sense of humour. Later we'd go out to the pub to get drunk and Jesus would get free wine just by ordering water, smart ass. And then we'd get drunk, stumble home, get lost and wake up with shaven-headed monks poking us with their feet. And Jesus would wake up and wander around the palace grounds and the temples and he'd be like, wow, this is fantastic, what is this place? And I'd be like, it's a Buddhist temple, Jesus. Buddha Siddhartha obtained enlightenment by sitting under a Bodhi tree. Got some followers, they got fat, lived in the temple and learned Kung Fu. And Jesus would be like, no shit. And I'd be like, no shit. And Jesus would be like, that's fucking awesome. I always wanted to learn Kung Fu. And I'd be like, but Jesus, you can crush people's throats with the power of your mind. And Jesus would be like, yeah, but Kung Fu's fucking awesome. Therefore, if Jesus was born again, he would convert to Buddhism.